and I'm the one and only DJ Storms. And today starts a busy few weeks for the DJ Storms brand. We are rocking, we are rolling. The month of June, it's gonna be lighting up with video after video after video. I'm a busy content creator here, and we got a pay-per-view on Sunday, and that can only mean that it's time for the rundown. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another video right here on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle, Wait for it! Wait for it! To mankind! This is the official rundown for NXT TakeOver in Your House 2021, which of course is streaming live on Peacock this Sunday, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And for the first time in God knows how long, yes, I do wear hats sometimes, mostly snapbacks, because I don't look good in baseball caps or any other fucking hat. And plus, it's an NXT hat, fits the theme here. We got a lot to talk about. Big takeover coming up on Sunday. And of course, I am not alone. Back here, right here on the DJ Storms channel, is one of my day one A1s, a loyal member of the DJ Storms posse. He is the creator of the Big Fight Feel YouTube channel. He's on the road to 1,000 subscribers himself. Please help me welcome back here to the channel, first time back in a long, long time, Mr. Joseph Conlin. How are you, brother?
I am doing fantastic today, man. I think we're going to get to the road to 500 subscribers before 1,000 subscribers, but I like it there, man. I like the confidence, but I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me on the channel today. We're here to talk about NXT. We have 5 of the best in NXT going at it for the top championship in their brand. We have the veteran Ember Moon challenging the dominant Raquel Gonzales for the Women's Championship. And then in the match I'm looking forward to the most, we got the $1 million title. Who's going to climb the ladder and grab the $1 million title between guy Cameron Grimes to the moon or LA Knight? That's the match I'm looking forward to the most, man. But we will talk about everything at NXT TakeOver in Your House in the rundown, and as always, man, legendary intro. Legendary.
Thank you very much, brother. I mean, I take great pride in it. It's had a lot of modifications over the years, but let me tell you something. No one does it better than DJ effing Storms, ladies and gentlemen. Just pointing it out there. But yeah, we got a loaded card for NXT TakeOver in Your House this year. I actually think that this could actually end up being better than last year's In Your House. But NXT, let me tell you something. I have always been a big fan of NXT. I love NXT. I still watch NXT on a weekly basis. I cover NXT on a weekly basis. I have been remaining loyal to NXT with the LFU. I have not strayed away from it, whether or not the pandemic has made some people stray away from NXT, whether or not some people have fallen out of love with NXT. I have always stayed loyal to NXT, but NXT has not been what it used to be. And at the beginning of the year, I thought that they were getting back to where they once were, because throughout the month of January and February, NXT was great. It reminded me of what NXT used to be. They were operating with a sense of urgency. They had the 2 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classics. They were building towards NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. There was a lot of great shit going on at the beginning of the year for NXT. But I don't know what happened. It's like after that, they just went right back to what they were doing in 2020. There's just been no energy. There's just been no buzz. They have not been operating with a sense of urgency. Everything has felt as though they're just coasting by. And I pointed out 3 specific reasons. I pointed out 3 specific reasons over the course of the last few months. Number 1 has to do with the fact that Vince's influence over NXT from 2020, it's still being felt. And it's going to take a long time for NXT to fully recover from that. Number 2 was the fact that Vince McMahon unnecessarily purged 6 of the top talents in NXT. Priest, Dijakovic, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, Mia Yim, Shane Thorne. All these individuals were taken from NXT and put on the main roster, and all of them, minus Matt Riddle, I think Matt Riddle's the only one that has had some semblance of success on the main roster. Every single one of them, minus Matt Riddle, has completely flopped, dead on their face. And all of those 6 individuals from NXT, they were taken, and the main event scene was just completely flat. And Triple H had no time to build up the individuals like Cameron Grimes and Bronson Reed and all these other individuals that could have been main eventers. He had no time to build them up into the main event scene. And then on top of that, the third reason, and this is the biggest one has to do with the fact that the laziness mentality of the main roster. Hey, we're WWE. We're making all this money from Peacock, from the USA deal, from the Fox deal, from Saudi Arabia. We're making all this money, right? The laziness mentality of we don't have to put any effort into our shows because we're making all this money, that's starting to seep into NXT, and they're just coasting by. And that, I feel as though, has been the biggest reason. The last one is the biggest reason as to why NXT has just felt so lackluster as of lately. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? I actually want to hear this.
For me, the main thing that's changed about NXT was me personally, I feel like Triple H is trying every opportunity. He's like, well, how can we one up AEW? I feel like since its existence, not really since its existence, but for most of AEW's existence, all Triple H has been focusing on is how can we one up AEW? How can we get one over this time and this date? Great American Bash. However, I have no idea, but I feel like that's a reason. I feel like another reason, star power. Like, you don't really have a name on NXT like, oh, I want to tune into NXT because I want to see Karrion Kross. Like, we used to have that with the NXT. I remember in 2019 we had the NXT Big Six, I called them. Adam Cole, Aleister Black, Ricochet, the Velveteen Dream, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa. Those 6 names, you could make an argument at that time were the 6 biggest names in wrestling. I think they were just lighting it up in NXT, and now in NXT, it's like, who is there? Like, you can get invested in? Like, yeah, outside of Cameron Grimes, because I feel like everybody loves Cameron Grimes, but I feel like Karrion Kross, he's kind of boring. He's a little boring. Johnny Gargano with the way, I guess he's okay. Kyle O'Reilly, yeah, he's a great wrestler, but he really doesn't have a character behind him. Bronson Reed, I love Bronson Reed, but I don't really know how people view him. So I think another reason could be a lack of star power.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, because Triple H did not have any time to build on the star power that he already created for those guys, because Vince purged all of that talent. He purged Priest, he purged Dijakovic and Keith Lee and Matt Riddle, and he had no opportunity to build up new stars to get on the level of a Keith Lee or an Adam Cole or a Johnny Gargano or a Tommaso Ciampa. And it's not that Karrion Kross is boring. It's the fact that Karrion Kross, he shouldn't even be NXT champion. And we'll talk about that.
Right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to the NXT championship match. But it is because of star power, but it's not because of all of those names. It's because of the fact that Triple H has not been able to build up any new stars based on what he's been given. You see, if he was able to build up new stars like Cameron Grimes and Bronson Reed and LA Knight and all of these individuals that should be in the main event scene, if he was given time instead of Vince McMahon purging all of these NXT talents, I'm telling you, NXT would be in a lot better position. But I'm really starting to feel as though that laziness mentality is starting to seep into NXT because Triple H thinks, oh, hey, it's NXT, it's the best brand out of the 3 brands in WWE, so they're really not going to care. But we do care. We see the difference in quality with NXT. There's no wow factor to it anymore.
Yeah, I want to know another thing, too. With the TakeOver show, this one in particular, back in 2018, early 2019, just basically 2018, 2019, all those both years, you look at NXT TakeOvers, you're like, man, I'm looking at this card. Now, there's 5 matches. All of these matches are must-see. I can't get up from my couch because I don't want to miss a second of the action from this show because I just can't miss a match. And now I look at this TakeOver and I'm like, I don't care about all of these matches, man. I'm just like, it's hard to get invested in them because, for example, I'll talk about it, but for an example, man, they built up Raquel Gonzales versus Ember Moon in 2 weeks. Like, how am I supposed to get myself invested in a match like that that's been built up so little?
You're right. You're right. It's not that these matches aren't must-see, because all of these matches are pay-per-view level matches. All of these matches have top-tier quality athletes. The problem is, again, the creative. NXT is still the best brand in the WWE, period. But at the end of the day, the build is just, it's just non-existent. We have not had a legit TakeOver build since TakeOver Portland in 2020, early 2020, when they were building towards TakeOver Portland, the first TakeOver of 2020, literally 3 weeks before the pandemic actually hit. And that TakeOver, I look at that TakeOver as perhaps one of the best TakeOvers of all time, probably in the top 3. But this TakeOver, it was legitimately just thrown together in 3 weeks.
It's quite sad, but I mean, I'm not saying I'm not saying at all it's going to be a bad show because I think it's going to be some great wrestling. It's probably going to be a really good show, but it's just hard to care about some of the matches where you've built it up for 2 or 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
I think the one match that I care about the most, the one match that I'm most invested in is Cameron Grimes and LA Knight. That's literally, that's the match that's been built up the best. Because Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase, they have had a long-term storyline for the last several months leading up into this. This has been going on since the end of April, early May. Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase have built up this match single-handedly. LA Knight was kind of just an add-in. And I do believe that LA Knight, I don't think he's going to win. But Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase, they have single-handedly made whatever he's doing. Ted DiBiase has made Cameron Grimes into a must-see act on the main main show on NXT. Like we just saw Cameron Grimes as an undercard act, but if they play the cards right, they can definitely bring Cameron Grimes to that next level, and we'll talk about that when we get to that match. So, before we get into the matches here, before we get into the festivities, Joe, where can we find you on social media?
Oh, man, you can find me on Twitter at Conlin_Joseph and Instagram as well at Conlin_Joseph. We reached 0.3K followers on Twitter very closely. So if you haven't followed me on Twitter, go ahead and do that now. And more importantly, man, go subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. We got some big content coming up on the channel in the summer months. I am going back to work, but I'm going to try to be as consistent as possible with my uploads like I am when I'm not in work. So be sure to go subscribe to the channel, and let's get to 500 subs, I'd say, by the end of the summer.
It's going to be a big summer for the Big Fight Field brand as well as the DJ Storms brand. You can find me on the Twitter sticks at HistoryMakerDJS. You'll find out why I am the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. Follow me on Instagram at the DJ Storms. Add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook, in which he is an exclusive member of. All of those links are in the description. We are over 16 minutes into the video. If you haven't liked the video, I don't really know what the fuck you're doing. We got goals to reach here on the channel. I mean, come on. You gotta, yeah, there we go. You gotta like the video.
Dude, man.
Like the video when you come in here, alright? It's not that hard. It's a little button. You gotta scroll down right down there. All you need to do is click. We're gonna try and shoot for... There you go. Try and shoot for around 30 likes. I think Mr. Conlin here, he'll get some of his peeps to come on over to watch my video. So maybe we'll boost it. Let's try and get to 40 likes. 40 likes is the goal here on the DJ Storms channel for the rundown for TakeOver in Your House 2021. So I'm going to need you guys to hit the like button when you come in. And of course, in order for us to reach that goal, we're going to need the people that are in the chat right now to share out the stream on all platforms of social media. I'm talking about Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Pinterest. Any social media platform that you use. And on top of that, when you share it out, obviously everyone is going to be aware that DJ Storms and Joseph Conlin are back in action again. The boys are back in town. Everyone is going to know. I'm talking about your mothers, your fathers, your aunts, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your sons, your daughters, your grandmothers, your grandfathers, your dogs, your cats, and especially your guinea pigs, because I'm telling you, man, I have read so many fucking articles that they're making my laptop run slow, that guinea pigs, when they're exposed to DJ Storms and a little dash of Joseph Conlin, they are said to live long, happy, healthy, fruitful lives. DJ Storms and Joseph Conlin, they're good for their hearts, alright? So please, if you got a guinea pig, give them a daily dose of DJ Storms and Joseph Conlin. You already know the drill. Be sure to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. We're gaining those subs back slowly but surely after YouTube purged a couple of my subscribers, but they can't fucking keep me down. No one can fucking keep me down. I'm BJF and Storms. And of course, when you subscribe, you gotta make sure you hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is, of course, the best time to be on YouTube. It's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination, this beautiful mustache rider. Give me a minute. Hold on just one single solitary second. Everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. You already know the drill. Anyway, enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisements. We're going to get straight into the matches. We're going to start off with Xia Li versus Mercedes Martinez. I'm going to hand this one over to you, bro. Give me your expertise analysis on this match and your prediction.
All right, well, before I hit my prediction on this match first, this match does not feel TakeOver worthy whatsoever. I mean, I didn't even know that they were feuding until this week's NXT. If anything, this Tuesday coming up on NXT, we're getting a tornado tag with Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher versus the grizzled young veterans, and I would much rather see that on TakeOver than this ladies match. That is just me personally. But like I said, I didn't even know that Mercedes and Xia Li were feuding until this week's NXT. So I really don't know what to think of this. I want Mercedes to win because I've heard reports that, you know, she's going to go up to the main roster and they're potentially looking for her to be a bodyguard for Ember Moon, which I mean, my God, thoughts and prayers for Mercedes Martinez that she doesn't go up to
I got some shit to say on the Lightning Flash update about that, so let's save that.
Yeah, we'll save that. But I guess, just to be safe, I'm going to pick Xia Li because I feel like they've been building up her character since the beginning of the year, and I feel like Triple H wants to push her. But so I'm going to take Xia Li to win, but I got a question for you. I don't really see Mercedes Martinez doing much after this. I don't know where she goes. The tag team division for the women in NXT only have 2 tag teams. So how would you feel about potentially pairing up Mercedes and this group that Xia Li has, and you can have Xia Li and Mercedes potentially go for the women's tag titles? You don't like that? I see it.
To be quite honest, no, because what Xia Li's doing is mainly a singles act, and they were actually feuding for a couple weeks. Xia Li marked Mercedes Martinez, and I actually don't mind the story being built here, but they should have given it a few more weeks to build. They're feuding because 4 years ago at the Mae Young Classic, Xia Li was taken out of the tournament by Mercedes Martinez, and now Xia Li's looking for revenge. So I appreciate the long-term story and the continuation. I appreciate that. So I'm also going with Xia Li. And listen, I understand your concerns with this not being TakeOver worthy, but I feel as though Triple H is doing this because he wants to give Xia Li that opportunity to showcase to us what she can really do on a TakeOver. Because Mercedes Martinez, she's already had that opportunity. She had a very good triple threat match between herself, Toni Storm, and Io Shirai back at TakeOver Vengeance Day in February. So I feel as though Xia Li is getting this opportunity to showcase to us what she can really do in a big-time matchup with a woman like Mercedes Martinez. We'll see what happens, but that's pretty much the story with the Mae Young Classic and Xia Li wanting to get revenge. I have a feeling Xia Li is going to be built up to take the title off of whoever takes the title of Raquel. I don't know who's going to take the title off Raquel, to be quite honest with you. It is a mystery at this rate. I don't see Ember doing it. Shotzi's going to come back, and Shotzi's going to get a shot at Raquel. I know she is. Shotzi's not going to do it either. Shotzi's not ready for that yet. I don't know who's going to take it off of Raquel, but I don't want to see Mercedes Martinez in the women's tag team division. She's much better as a single star. And listen, I really don't want to wish death upon her career, but I really don't see her doing anything else but being called up to the main roster. And if it was me, I would put her on SmackDown. I would put her on SmackDown, not Monday Night Raw. I would put her on SmackDown because SmackDown only has 7 active female talents. So we need to get some actual talent and boost up that SmackDown Live women's division. And then on Monday Night Raw is no better. We need to boost up Monday Night Raw as well, but it doesn't really matter where you go. The creative is still going to suck. I'm just trying to think of ways to make Raw and SmackDown better here. I'm not sure where Mercedes Martinez goes. I genuinely think that this could be the end of the line for Mercedes Martinez. I hope she doesn't go to Raw. SmackDown's probably the best route for her. I see her going to SmackDown. I also see Io going to SmackDown after SummerSlam. Io going to SmackDown's the best route, and building her up to win the Women's Royal Rumble as well. But I'm going with Xia Li for this one. You think this is going to be a competitive match? You think it's going to be somewhat of a decent match? Where do you think this is going to fit? You think this is going to kick off the show, or you think this is going to be like in the middle of the show?
I could see this being like the second match. Probably after 6-man, because I think the 6-man will kick off the show. That seems to be like a good opener. But I don't see this match going longer than 7 or 10 minutes, to be honest.
Mm.
Like I can't see them going mat for mat like the 6-man tag, no stop. So hopefully it'll be decent, you know.
Yeah, but I'm going with Xia Li. We're Xia Li across the board here. Let's talk about the ladder match for the $1 Million Championship. We got the man that's stealing my gimmick, LA Knight. I see you, LA Knight. I know you're watching me. I know someone from NXT is watching me, and they're stealing my gimmick. I've been doing this shit for 4 years. It'll be 4 years next month, actually. On July 16th, specifically. 4-year anniversary for DJ Storms next month. I've been doing this shit for 4 years, and then we got LA Knight waltzing on into NXT, and he's going, LA Knight. I love LA Knight. Just pointing it out there. I think LA Knight's fantastic. And then we got Cameron Grimes. Straight to the moon. We got Cameron Grimes and LA Knight. This is actually the match that I'm most looking forward to, specifically because of the fact that both of these two oozing charisma, both of these two insanely witty, very good on the microphone as well. And with them adding a ladder match, this really does amp up this match. A match between them one-on-one in the ring, I have a feeling it would be somewhat decent, but a ladder match just amps up this match even further. Now that the ladder is involved, I feel as though it's going to be even better than it was before. Now, it is for the $1 Million Championship. This one could swing either way. I also feel as though they added the ladder match and the $1 Million Championship to add a little bit more unpredictability to this match. Which I definitely don't mind. I do not see LA Knight winning this, specifically because of the fact that everyone has been wanting Ted DiBiase and Cameron Grimes to come together. And they wanted Ted DiBiase and Cameron Grimes to join forces, and they wanted Ted DiBiase to kind of be the advocate, the Paul Heyman to Cameron Grimes' Brock Lesnar. Now, of course, Cameron Grimes is no Brock Lesnar, but you get where I'm coming from. And on top of that, with what happened over the course of the last few weeks, and I've been keeping a close eye on this, Cameron Grimes, when he first came to NXT and he started to develop the character, he morphed into a witty redneck heel. He morphed into a witty redneck heel that people legitimately wanted to see get his ass kicked. And he was doing his job correctly. Cameron Grimes morphed himself into a very, very good redneck heel. And then he got injured, and then he came back with this new gimmick. Where he invested in GameStop, and now he's rich. He's a rich redneck. He started saying to the moon all the time. Now, originally he was just saying to the moon to be annoying. But then people started to catch on to it. He's got this gimmick where he's rich, and then they added Ted DiBiase as well. He's inserted himself into a program with Ted DiBiase, and all because of this program with DiBiase and a gimmick change, Cameron Grimes has morphed himself into a babyface. And I'm listening to the crowd cheer for him when he's going on in his promo, and then I listen to the crowd doing his "To the Moon" chant. I'm thinking to myself, if they play their cards right, they legitimately got themselves their next top-tier babyface on their hands. If they play their cards right with Ted DiBiase and Cameron Grimes is going to be taken to that next level. Cameron Grimes is going to be made into a superstar if they play their cards right. That's why I think Cameron Grimes should win this. And he should be paired up with Ted DiBiase going forward, because that is going to help Cameron Grimes further along in his NXT career, and hopefully, maybe when he gets called up to the main roster, maybe since he's with Ted DiBiase and he's got this gimmick and he's very entertaining, maybe, crossing my fingers, maybe Vince McMahon will look at this guy and maybe they might push the guy. They actually might treat this guy well. Wishful thinking, but maybe this new gimmick and a partnership with Ted DiBiase could be a saving grace. So I think Cameron Grimes winning this match would absolutely be the right decision. I think the ladder match definitely adds a lot of intrigue to this match, and they're going to work their ass off. You know for a fact that Cameron Grimes is just waiting to have his breakout performance. LA Knight, he hasn't really done too much in NXT. I feel as though this is definitely going to be LA Knight's breakout performance too. This is going to do both men well. This is going to be, perhaps if they want to, this could be the best match of the night. And I see Cameron Grimes winning the $1 Million Championship and going into a partnership with Ted DiBiase. And it's going to take Cameron Grimes into the next level. It could very well take him to the fucking moon, for all we know, pun intended. So, I'm going to throw it over to you. The ball's in your court, brother.
Sure. I personally think, man, NXT and ladder matches, they don't miss whatsoever. So I truly think that these two guys are going to work their ass off. I'm like you, I am most excited for this match. I feel like this is the best built story going into the show. And I felt like they've built up the relationship with Cameron Grimes and Ted for longer than May. Hasn't he been mentioning, like, ever since he came back, hasn't he mentioned Ted DiBiase, like, I'm richer than Ted DiBiase or something like that?
Oh, yeah. He's been mentioning it, like, since he came back. But, like, they never really introduced Ted DiBiase until, like, a month and a half ago.
Yeah. But, like, I get what you're saying. So, Cameron Grimes, he's just so, he's over, man. He's over with these 50, 75 people at the CWC. Imagine when NXT goes back to Full Sail. Imagine when NXT goes to Barclays and Staples Center for TakeOver's game, and they got everybody chanting to the moon at TakeOver. And yeah, like you said, man, this guy can be a top babyface. Not even in NXT, man. In the WWE, he can be a top babyface if they play their cards right. And I feel like Triple H is. I trust Triple H. I feel like that he's not going to be stupid enough to mess up Cameron Grimes, because I feel like he's very high on Cameron Grimes, and he wants to I think he knows how much everybody loves Cameron Grimes. Like, all you have to hear is Cameron Grimes' promo Tuesday night on NXT when he's like, when I'm in between the ropes, when I'm in between the turnbuckles, I'm performing in front of these people. Cameron Grimes is unbeatable, and those people were they were giving him a big ovation. So that's all you need to know on how over and how successful Cameron Grimes can be as a babyface. Now, as who I think is going to win, this was a tough one, but I think me and you are going to be different on here. I'm going to actually take LA Knight to win this match. The reason I think is because I feel like it's going to be an underdog story with Cameron Grimes, and I feel like Ted is going to be like, you're a great kid, but you're just not. You're not that guy right now, and that guy's LA Knight. I eventually think that Grimes is going to win the $1 Million title, but I feel like none of these guys, I feel like they don't really have much to do after this. Like, if this is the culmination, Grimes wins, where do they go from here? So I think LA Knight is going to win to continue the feud, and on an episode of NXT, or maybe the next TakeOver, in August or September, I don't know, Grimes is going to win the $1 Million Championship. So for in your house, I'm actually going to take LA Knight to win.
Really? Well, they could definitely build up LA Knight to be a potential challenger for Bronson Reed. Cameron Grimes, I would say, if you want to, save Cameron Grimes in your back pocket to take the title off of Swerve after Swerve takes the title off of Bronson Reed. And speaking of Bronson Reed, we're actually going to talk about Bronson Reed next, but we're going to have to put some money on this one, because I got Cameron Grimes, he's got LA Knight, so we'll definitely put a few bucks down on that one. But we're actually talking about Bronson Reed next, because he is in a 6-man tag. It is Legado del Fantasma versus Bronson Reed and MSK. This is a winners-take-all 6-man tag team match for the NXT North American and the NXT Tag Team Championships. I have no problem with this match. Matter of fact, I think it's going to be a very, very fun opener. I definitely like the fact that they're doing a winners-take-all match, and I like the fact that they're giving MSK a spot on a takeover to defend the championships. And I know for a fact that Triple H wants to make tag team wrestling prominent on NXT again, because throughout 2020 it was just neglected. It was really neglected. So now I feel as though Triple H is really going to push tag team wrestling. Now that we got MSK defending the titles at TakeOver in Your House, we got Grizzled Young Veterans and Ciampa and Thatcher in the Tornado tag team match coming up next week on NXT. So tag team wrestling is definitely going to be a major focal point of NXT going forward, and he's going to rejuvenate tag team wrestling on the main roster, or not on the main roster, on NXT. But I just don't like this match because this is where that laziness mentality comes in. They've done nothing, Legado del Fantasma, have done nothing to earn a North American or an NXT tag team title opportunity. MSK recently just defeated Legado del Fantasma last week and retained their NXT tag team titles. Santos Escobar recently just lost the Cruiserweight title and then lost the rematch to Kushida. Now, I have no problem that Santos Escobar is fighting for the North American title, but they just threw this match together without any build, without any told story, and they just said, okay, here you go. Is it going to be a great match? Yeah, it's going to be a great match, but they just have not built any story or intrigue. We're just going based off of, oh yeah, it's going to be a great match. There's no story to it. Now, I like to hope going forward that they're actually going to generate some type of a story, and I do see Escobar actually getting a one-on-one match with Reed down the line. I see either Reed or MSK winning the match by pinning either Wilde or Mendoza. And then I see Escobar coming out and saying, hey, Bronson, you didn't pin me. I want a rematch. And then they're going to build towards a rematch at a later date, probably sometime next month. That's what I see happening. But for now, I think that this is probably going to kick off the show. I feel as though this is going to be a very, very, very good opener. And I see Bronson Reed and MSK walking out victorious. No reason to take the title off of Bronson Reed. No reason to take the title off of MSK either. Both of them have just started their reigns. They should not be losing anytime soon. Bronson Reed's not losing that title till the fall. Same goes for MSK as well. I don't see MSK losing it until sometime in the fall when the Grizzled Young Veterans take the title off of them. But I think this is going to be a very good match. If they want to, this could also be the match of the night if they put all their eggs into it. I don't want to say put all your eggs in one basket, but if they put all their effort into it, this match could definitely steal the show. I'm going with Bronson Reed and MSK to retain the North American and the NXT Tag Team Championships here at NXT TakeOver. Joseph Conlin, the floor is yours.
I just want to say real quick, I don't really like the position that they put Legado del Fantasma in this match, because it feels like, they're interim challengers for both the tag titles and the North American title, because let's be honest, how much of a chance do these guys have of winning on Sunday?
You need interim challengers. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to need interim challengers.
I know that, but I feel like not necessarily the tag team, but I feel like Santos Escobar is better than an interim challenger. That's just me. But I feel like this is going to be the opening match, like you said. This probably the right match to open up with. I think it'll be a very fun match, and I ultimately see the champions retaining, and like you said, Reed. I see Reed pinning either Raul Mendoza or Joaquin Wilde, and then potentially last week of June or July, we get the Escobar and Bronson Reed rematch for the North American title, and then that's when Bronson Reed beats him one-on-one. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about this because it should be a fun match, very fun match, open up the show. I just don't have any care in it. They literally announced this match this week, on NXT, and it's like you said, it's no story. It's like, here you go. If you just want straight, fun, good wrestling, here's your match. So that's what I feel like they're doing for this match. But I want to go to another topic for Bronson Reed real quick. You're right, man. Him dropping the title to Isaiah Swerve Scott has got to be the way to go. Outside of Cameron Grimes, I don't know if you want to talk about this faction for a little bit, but outside of Cameron Grimes, Hit Row has been my favorite thing on NXT. They are just, the entrance, the presentation of them, they look like stars. All of them. Swerve, Ashanti the Adonis, Top Dollar, Brianna Brandy. They look like stars. Swerve has finally found himself some personality, which I'm happy about. And they recently just came out with their new theme song, which fits them perfectly. I love everything about this group. And if, like you said, about the Cameron Grimes, and if they played their cards right, he could be a top babyface. If they played their cards right, I really think just like the Undisputed, not maybe like the Undisputed Era, potentially like the Undisputed Era, you could build this show around a faction like Hit Row, I think.
I absolutely agree with that, especially considering you got the potential for a North American title run and a tag team title run. I don't think Brianna Brandy, aka B-Fab, I don't see her fighting for the women's championship. There's just an overabundance of women's talent. I think that she's just going to be the manager. She's just going to be the advocate for Hit Row, and she's going to be she's just going to be their advisor, so to speak, their special counsel, kind of like what Paul Heyman is to Roman Reigns. Here's a question though. Do you do Isaiah Swerve Scott at the next TakeOver for Bronson Reed, or do you do one more challenger for Bronson Reed and then have Scott take it off of Reed at a later date? Because here's the thing. It's going to be this match with Bronson Reed and Santos Escobar, the six-man tag, and then next month is going to be Reed and Escobar one-on-one, and then in August there's probably going to be a TakeOver. So what do you do? Do you do the match with Swerve and Reed at that TakeOver and then give it to Swerve, or do you wait until the fall?
Oh, that's a question, man. To be honest, I think that Bronson Reed should have a Keith Lee-like North American title reign, like when Keith Lee just beat everybody, defending the title week in, week out. Keith Lee, in my opinion, was a tremendous champion, and he's probably been the best North American champion ever. So to answer your question on when Bronson Reed has it, when he drops the Swerve, I'm going to say the end of the year.
Probably, yeah.
Last TakeOver. Maybe the last TakeOver in December or the October TakeOver. I'm going to say December TakeOver, War Games.
So, who do you line up for Reed in the meantime after Escobar? LA Knight?
Probably you can do LA Knight. You could do Pete Dunne. I don't really know what he does.
I wouldn't mind Pete Dunne. I would not mind Pete Dunne. I wouldn't mind the rematch with Gargano. I definitely wouldn't mind that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that they should do Pete Dunne, because Pete Dunne, he's a future NXT champion. He's above the North American title. Pete Dunne, he's absolutely going to have an NXT title reign before the year ends. Not even before the year ends. Before he goes up to the main roster. He's not even 30. He's not even 30. He's got nothing but time on his hands. Pete Dunne is going to be an NXT champion before he eventually makes the jump to Raw or SmackDown.
Maybe...
LA Knight, definitely. Maybe they could do Gargano again. Because Gargano hasn't gotten his rematch. Maybe they could rebuild Gargano up for a rematch. Because Gargano, he's bulletproof. He doesn't need to win.
Dexter Lewis, I guess.
I don't know. I don't even think Lumis is going to factor into any championship matches at this rate. They've taken Lumis out of the wrestling ring and they put him in a fucking love storyline with Indy Hartwell. Although, listen, Indy Hartwell's not bad, but you know, Dexter Lumis he's got some good taste in women. He's hitting on Poppy. Poppy ain't fucking bad. Poppy, if you're watching this, hit me up. I know you want a piece of the Stormsmeister.
I have no idea who they put Bronson against outside of Escobar and LA Knight before Swerve takes it.
But yeah, Swerve is the guy to take that title for Bronson Reed. MSK, here's the thing with MSK. I absolutely see MSK going up against Ciampa and Thatcher next. And then, after that, then the Grizzled Young Veterans will take the titles off of them.
Yeah, I think they're more than likely to drop the title sooner than Bronson Reed is. I really think that next TakeOver, you give them to the Grizzled Young Veterans.
So that would probably be in, like, the end of August or maybe September, depending on what they do there. But we're going to move on to the next match, which is Raquel Gonzales versus Ember Moon. This is for the NXT Women's Championship. I'm going to give this one over to you. So, what do you think about this match, and how is this match going to favor? Do you think Ember Moon is going to outdo Io Shirai, and you think that Ember Moon's going to give Raquel her best match to date?
I think it'll be a very good match. I don't think it's going to be better than... I just got a feeling it's not going to be better than the Shirai match, though. The Shirai match had more interest. It had a better build-up, in my opinion. This, like, I'm going to... Hold on a second. Here's the build-up to this match. It's really ridiculous, man. It's, like, hard to get invested in... just not this match, just most of the matches. But I'm going to say this match because I feel like I'm going to point this match out. So on May 25th, they do a tag team match. It ends in a DQ. Raquel Gonzales, she takes out Ember Moon's friend Shotzi Blackheart, okay? Shotzi is written off television. The next week, Ember Moon comes out. She calls out Raquel Gonzales, and then she's going to be like, you injured my friend. Now I'm going to take your title. So it's like she's being a little bit selfish, but it's like, how can I get invested in this with such little build? It's not like they're even telling a story. The match on Tuesday with Moon and Kai, probably the best thing on their build-up. That was a great match before it was the DQ. So, but I don't think she's going to outdo Io. I think it'll be a very good match. I think Shotzi Blackheart's probably going to come back. She's going to take out Dakota Kai, but this is by far the most predictable match on the entire show. You're not taking the title off of Raquel Gonzales right now, man. You just can't. She just won it from Shirai. She beat Mercedes Martinez. She has a lot of momentum right now, and you don't want to stop that. So, yeah, Gonzalez wins. And I want to get your thoughts. I don't really understand the hate that Raquel Gonzales is getting from people in the community. It's weird. Like, I don't know what's wrong with. I don't know what people think is wrong with Raquel Gonzales. I think she's very good. She's gotten great since that TakeOver Portland.
I feel as though it's probably the fact that she's just very, very, very inexperienced, and it's easy to hate on inexperience. It is what it is at the end of the day. But I don't know. I don't really know. It's very, very odd. I haven't really seen too much hate for Raquel Gonzales on my end, if I'm going to be quite honest with you.
Might just be on my end.
I don't know. But as far as this match goes, yeah, you're right. It is kind of predictable. That's pretty much why Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart lost the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. It's all because after Mercedes Martinez, Raquel Gonzales needed more women to feud with. and there was really nobody else built up enough, not even built up enough, there was nobody free outside of Ember and Shotzi. And after Shotzi comes back, she's going to be next in line. And then after that, I don't know who's next to challenge Raquel Gonzales. They're at a kind of a crossroads right here, because Mercedes Martinez, she recently just lost. Ember Moon's going to lose, and then either next month or at the next TakeOver, Shotzi's going to lose. Who's next? Saray? I don't think she's ready.
Time out. When do you think they're going to do the Dakota Kai turn? Because maybe I don't see her taking the title off of Raquel, but the turn is coming sooner rather than later.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, if they want to, maybe they could very well do the Dakota Kai turn in the summertime, and maybe we could see Dakota Kai versus Raquel Gonzales at the SummerSlam TakeOver. And then afterwards, that's maybe when we see the return of Shotzi. Maybe they do give the title to Shotzi. Maybe Shotzi Blackheart is the woman to beat Raquel Gonzales. Maybe they have Raquel beat Dakota Kai, and then maybe Shotzi takes it off her. It's either that or Shotzi comes back. Shotzi's the one to lose to Raquel, and maybe Dakota's the one to beat Raquel Gonzales, and Dakota Kai finally gets her moment. Either that, maybe they bring back Tegan Knox. I'm not sure how long Tegan Knox has been out. I'm not sure whether or not they're going to clear her from injury. I'm not sure if she's cleared. I'm not sure if her pro wrestling career is over. I don't know.
I don't know, man. But the Dakota Kai turn is going to happen sooner rather than later. I don't think it's going to happen Sunday, but it's going to happen in the summer. And for a TakeOver, SummerSlam weekend, you probably will want to get that a big card. Your biggest match you could probably do on that show for the women is Dakota Kai versus Raquel Gonzales. So
probably
I could see the turn happening next month, to be honest.
Well, if that's the case, then Dakota Kai's definitely laying down for Raquel Gonzales, and Shotzi Blackheart's going to be the one to beat Raquel Gonzales. I don't see it playing out any other way.
I don't know, man, but as far as Sunday, Raquel wins.
Now, you got some people moving up in the world. You got Frankie Monet moving up. You got Saray moving up. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. Indy and Candice haven't even defended them. To be quite honest with you, I would give the titles to Casey and Caden, specifically because they're the only legitimate tag team in the women in NXT. I would give the titles to Casey and Caden because you need to free up some challengers. You need to free up some challengers for whoever takes that title off of Raquel Gonzales. And Candice LeRae, she is a picture-perfect woman. She's a woman that I would build the brand around. So they absolutely need to get Candice LeRae back in the singles division sooner rather than later. But we are Raquel Gonzales across the board here. Alright. Main event. Karrion Kross, Pete Dunne, Kyle O'Reilly, Johnny Gargano, and Adam Cole Bay. Fatal 5-way match for the NXT Championship. I expect this to be beautifully chaotic. I expect this to be a train wreck of epic proportions in a good way. Of course. Now, I only see either Kross retaining or Adam Cole's going to win the championship. And I don't see Adam Cole winning the championship specifically. The best route to go here, in my eyes, would be to give Karrion Kross the win here. Even though Karrion Kross doesn't even necessarily need to be NXT champion. And while we're on that topic, I don't understand why Kross was even brought back to NXT. I really don't. I would have debuted him either at the Rumble or after WrestleMania. And if you were going to give him a rematch against Finn Balor, what you should have done is you should have given Finn Balor the win. You should have had Finn Balor win as the Demon, or what you could have done is you could have done a fatal four-way between Cole, O'Reilly, Balor, and Kross. That way, Kross could have lost the match without being pinned, and he would have been called up to the main roster after WrestleMania. I don't understand why they didn't do that. Very, very, very confusing to me. Very, very, very odd to me. And you're at a point right now where Kross is actually hurting NXT more so than he's helping NXT. I really don't understand why Karrion Kross is still in this position. I really don't understand why he's still in this position. I don't understand why he is still in NXT. Who are you going to have take the title off of him? If he doesn't lose the title here, then he's not losing that title until Parker Bodor comes around. Because Parker Bodor, he's the only one on that roster with the size to match Karrion Kross. Can he match Karrion Kross in terms of character work and in-ring work? I don't know. We'll see. But at this rate, the man to beat Karrion Kross is a man that's not even on the brand yet. And that's Parker Bodor. Unless they want to do Walter. Now, I heard some people throwing that around, but if you're going to do Walter, then Walter's going to have to lose the NXT UK Championship first. And I feel as though he may be on the road to doing that. Because NXT UK, last week, I haven't watched NXT UK this week yet, but NXT UK, last week, we saw a face-off between Rampage Brown, Joe Coffey, and Ilya Dragunov. I feel as though that's going to lead to a triple threat match. That could lead to Ilya Dragunov winning, and we could see Ilya Dragunov take that title off of Walter. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe we see Ilya Dragunov take the title off of Walter. Maybe we see Walter go to NXT. Maybe Walter takes the title off of Karrion Kross. It's either Walter or Parker Bodor. Either that, or they do another multi-man match down the line, but I don't see that happening. But if Kross doesn't lose the championship here, he's not losing that championship until probably the end of the year. I don't even know, maybe even next year. I don't know how they're going to get that title off of Kross. I really don't know how they're going to get that title off of Kross. Johnny Gargano, he's had his moment in the sun. Maybe Pete Dunne wins. I don't know. Outside of Kross and Adam Cole, I don't even think Adam Cole's going to win, to be quite honest with you. It's a battle between Kross and Dunne. Johnny Gargano's already been NXT champion. Cole's already been NXT champion. And Cole, he looks to be getting called up to the main roster after SummerSlam. Kyle O'Reilly's not ready. Pete Dunne is the only other individual outside of Kross that I can see winning this match. Cole, I can see continuing his feud with O'Reilly. And we're going to see Adam Cole get called up to the main roster. I see Adam Cole going to Raw. I know that's a place where careers go to die. But I see Adam Cole going to Raw and potentially being groomed to win the 2022 Men's Royal Rumble and face Finn Balor, who would have beaten Bobby Lashley for the WWE title at SummerSlam, and we get Finn and Cole at WrestleMania 38. That's what I would do. That's the correct route to go. I don't know who's going to take that title off of Kross, though. If he doesn't lose it here, I don't know when the fuck he's losing it. And the only individual that I can see winning this match other than Kross is Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne's the only other individual because Pete Dunne's never held the NXT title, and Pete Dunne is worthy of an NXT Championship title reign. He's absolutely holding that title before he gets called up. I feel as though this is going to be a great match. Could be the match of the night, could be a match of the year candidate. But I really don't see anyone outside of Pete Dunne coming out victorious in terms of Kross losing the championship. But I'm going with Karrion Kross to win this. I'm going with Kross, and I don't know who takes that title off Kross. I really don't. That's just me. What about you?
Oh man! Before I even get to my prediction, I think this is going to be a great match. Of course, you got 5 of the best workers in not even NXT, in the WWE. Not Kross, but Pete Dunne, Cole, O'Reilly, Gargano. They're some of the best workers you got in that entire company. So you put all of them in a match with your NXT champion. I think you've got magic right there, man. So I think that's going to be a hell of a match, an awesome main event. But there's no creative there's no creativity with Kross as the NXT champion. You just said it yourself. I've said it on my show with Cameron Johnson for a couple weeks now. If Kross wins on Sunday, who's next? You beat 4 of your top guys in NXT. Who's next? LA Knight, Cameron Grimes. I don't even know. And you're right. How do you get the title off of him? So, in my opinion, he does not need NXT. Karrion Kross is bigger than NXT. And you're right. I do think that Adam Cole is going to get called up to the main roster sooner rather than later. But I think Adam Cole is going to become the new NXT champion on Sunday night. I know that's a bold prediction.
Very bold.
On my show, I'll say, yeah, I think Adam Cole is going to win the NXT championship on Sunday, and then you have an obvious route in Kyle O'Reilly, who people love. I don't know if they love him more than Adam Cole, but you have the obvious story with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly visiting again for the NXT championship. And I think by the end of the summer, believe it or not, Kyle O'Reilly is going to be your NXT champion. That's the only way I can see things going, because
I don't see it. I don't see O'Reilly's not ready. He's not ready.
Well, what's the point of having Kross on the brand when he's big? NXT doesn't need him.
No, you're right. That's why I said Pete Dunne. Because, to be quite honest with you, Pete Dunne's the only one out of the 4, besides Kross, that deserves it. Pete Dunne deserves it.
I don't know, man. I see Adam Cole winning that title, and I see him dropping it to Kyle O'Reilly the next TakeOver. But NXT doesn't need Kross. Monday Night Raw desperately needs Karrion Kross, because that main event scene is brutal right now.
They should have kept the WWE title on McIntyre through WrestleMania, and we should have been building towards Kross and McIntyre at SummerSlam. That's what we should have been building towards.
Well, we still got Hell in a Cell for that to happen, but
I don't even think that McIntyre should win the title back. It should be Lashley versus Finn. What's the point of giving McIntyre the title if he's just going to drop it in 2 months? Transitional champions? That concept needs to fucking die.
I don't know, man. I've got, whether it happens or not, I think Adam Cole wins Sunday. I'm going with that. That's my bold prediction of the entire show. I got Adam Cole winning the NXT title. I think it makes sense too.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of The Rundown. I'd like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Like, comment, and subscribe as per usual. Once again, where can we find you on social media, Joe?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph and Instagram as well. And go ahead and subscribe to the Big Bike Field channel.
Ladies and gents, I'm DJ Storms, he's Joseph Conlin, and this has been The Rundown, and I will catch you tomorrow for the Lightning Flash update.